Well, I can understand the thrill, and I think it's easy for somebody like me to sit here and sound like a killjoy, but at the same time I think the people that are doing it need to take a look at themselves and decide whether or not the adrenaline rush ultimately is worth it, because the risks are very high when it goes wrong. Again, I mean, I've been up to the top of Dumbleton's Towers legitimately, and I know what a fantastic view you get up from there. So I can completely understand the idea of wanting to scale it and go up to the top and film and all of that kind of stuff. It is only I think it's a civil offence, not a criminal offence to do that kind of thing, so clearly it's not really something that the police are going to get involved in. But the problem is that the stakes are very, very high when you get it wrong, because if you plummet from the top of there, you're definitely dead. So my concern really is that taking huge risks like that is ultimately, potentially going to cost you your life. Parkour running is different. You're likely to injure yourself possibly, but the risks of sort of terminating your life that way, they're not strong. I'm not convinced the law needs to change, because I think when someone is determined to do this kind of thing, they'll find a way anyway, and they won't be deterred by the law, because that's not what's driving it. I think the individuals have to look to themselves and decide, weighing up the risk with the thrill. And clearly they're coming down on the side of, this is great and I'm going to carry on doing it. They're not going to be able to be stopped. What I would say is that I think publications like the Daily Echo are very responsible by splashing it on the front page. I mean, it's completely coincidental, but there is one on today's, the online version of the Echo anyway. It's the lead story. I suspect they'll probably deny it. I think there's somebody at the Echo who just trawls YouTube, follows these guys' accounts on YouTube, and the second a new video gets posted up, it's very lazy journalism. They just end up slashing it in the paper and linking to the video. For me, it's just providing an oxygen of publicity that isn't required. I think the Echo is irresponsible to cover it in the way that they do, and I think that they are, in part, encouraging it. I think you can take a view that it would be relatively easy to put some razor wire around the bottom of the tower block, or sort of 12 feet up in the air, to deter the really hardcore person who'd want to climb without it being in the way of maintenance people and all the rest of it. There's probably some low-cost stuff that you can do. But on the other hand, is that an expense that's worth incurring all over the place? As I say, the determined urban explorer is going to find a way to do it anyway, and they'll probably just see that as part of the challenge. I'd take Ali Law as a case in point. I've never met the guy. I've got immense respect for the fact that he is clearly someone who talked someone down off the Chheang bridge back last summer, so this guy's actually saved a life, ironically enough. He does put his own at risk, and I suppose the other thing I would probably point to is that there's documentary proof that he really isn't as good at this stuff as he might be, because that was an accident that he had recently that he posted up on his YouTube site, just doing parkour. So if you can do that to his face doing parkour, I think you can see what might happen in another scenario where he's climbed something tall and then suddenly finds he's out of his depth, as it were. So I'd say, be very careful, and ideally channel these energies in a different way that's a bit safer than it currently is. The council is so strapped for cash in the first instance, and secondly the council's priorities are primarily to the sick and the vulnerable and the elderly in this city. They're the people that we focus on in the first instance, and risk takers who are putting their own lives at risk have to be just seen as people who will probably do that anyway, and we're not going to try to do anything structured to change it. I would just put the message out there that think very hard before you do this stuff, because the risks to yourself and potentially to other people. You fell off that tower and landed on somebody, that's 2 dead people, not 1. So think about it.